What was life in Stephenville, Morgan Mill, Erath County like in 1975 or the early 1970s?
We ate a lot of beans, I'll say that.
His agency wasn't very big, didn't make any difference, I mean, when you're poor, you don't know it. And then later, when you're not quite so poor, then you think back and how did we do that? But anyway, I moved to Morgan Mill, which was very rural for me, because I'd already moved back to Dallas and planned to be there.
She bought a pot plant. She wanted a pot plant with flowers on it already. You didn't plant a seed.
I'd been through my plant period. Anyway, it was an adjustment, and it was not an unpleasant one. In Morgan Mill, they still had on the telephone party lines, and I didn't really understand how that worked.
Oh God!
And he was embarrassed several times when his grandmother would listen into our conversations, and the old lady up the road would listen
Percy
in.
Williams.
Yeah.
You could tell my grandmother's listening because she was on the highway and you hear cars drive by every once in a while. And you could tell if Ursie was on the phone because she'd be chewing her bubble gum.
So tell me about how the party line worked.
Gosh, well, I really didn't understand it. I thought it was...
We were three shorts, I think, weren't we? What it was, you'd have the phone would ring one long ring. Well, that was one long. If that was yours, you picked it up. Or you'd pick it up on anybody. You'd know somebody's getting a call. And then you'd have a short and a long, or a long and a short. In other words, combination, sort of like Morse code, so you listen for your ring.
Nobody ever told me that. And I thought it only went one way, like if he called me, then we weren't on the party line. But if I'm in Morgan Mill calling him, I would be on the party line. But that's not the way it worked. So I would go into pretty graphic detail about what we were going to do when we got home and all of that. And so then he told me that we were on not that kind of a party line.
It was not party, it was a party line.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of activities, not those activities.
No, we can't talk about that.
What kind of work or activities kept y'all busy during those, during the 70s and then in the 80s? So take us through what there was to do around here.
Well, we were active in our church, and that was kind of rough on the morning after we got married. We got married on a Saturday night, and cheap champagne hangover, and we're teaching Sunday school. That's an experience you really don't want, especially with some of the kids we have, most of whom have PhDs now.
We went to Morgan Mill ball games when my son was in 5th grade, then 4th grade, and our activities were mostly, we didn't do that much except we worked a lot. And I drove back and forth to teach night school for 2 or 3 years, I think. And I taught 3 out of 4 of the junior colleges in Dallas, so that kept me busy. And I don't know, we didn't go to movies a lot. We had symphony, Fort Worth Symphony season tickets, and we didn't really do that much at Tarleton. There wasn't that much to do back then. It was a very 2,000 students, way back then. So no basketball. We go to football games and things like that. And then after we'd been married 3.5 years, we had our first child, and things picked up. Do things at home, just housework. We had gardens. I'd never had a garden before like that. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the yard work. I enjoyed the flower beds. I enjoyed everything.